Hey there, and welcome to the Contentment Creator Podcast, the show designed especially for creative entrepreneurs just like you who are committed to a beautiful life that's rooted in courage and contentment, and that's blooming with creativity and prosperity. I'm your host, Ellen Broen, a certified life coach, a singer, a mother, and a lover of alliteration, dogs, and deep conversation. This show is designed to become a part of your daily routine to help you, fellow contentment creator, dig deep to clarify your life vision, catalyze your creative flow, and fuel your entrepreneurial fire in just a few inspiring minutes each day. Each Tuesday, we talk about creativity, and today's episode is all about recovering our creative spirit after leaving a creative career. My story isn't unique, but it is mine. It was a tale as old as time. Girl meets music. Girl falls in love with music. Girl stands in front of music saying, I'm just a girl standing in front of a dream, asking it to love her back. All jokes aside, I became an opera singer because I first fell in love with music and then fell in love with singing. My mentors, for better or for worse, guided me towards classical music, promising that it would form the bedrock to any singing career that I wanted, whether that meant Broadway, pop, or singer-songwriting. I spent 10 years as a professional opera singer, performing all around the world on both the world's best stages and in the coziest of spaces. I worked with illustrious, yet sometimes cruel teachers, coaches, and mentors who broke my spirit, and some genuine angels on earth doing God's work in healing hurting artists. After a few hot and cold years of pushing through internal and external hurdles, my career was burgeoning and finally gaining consistency when COVID canceled a year of contracts. As that year unfolded, I realized I didn't miss it and saw how the path forward was going to lead me away from the life I truly wanted for myself. So I decided to retire. The thing is, we don't start out expecting to be burned by the thing that we love. When we enter a creative career, it's usually fueled by passion, drive, and a deep sense of purpose. We chase opportunities, we seek mentorship, and we immerse ourselves in the craft and the community. And then, for too many of us, something shifts. We experience toxic mentorship, where those we trusted as guides become sources of shame, manipulation, or even abuse. There's industry-wide exploitation, where overwork, underpayment, and unrealistic expectations drain the life out of what we once loved. There's also betrayal, rejection, and burnout, leaving us wondering if we even belong in this space anymore. Or simply, some of us just wake up to the realization that this lifestyle is not helping us become the truest version of ourselves, and we have to navigate the heartbreak that comes with endings. What began as pursuing a dream can sometimes lead to living a nightmare. And if you're listening to this, chances are you know exactly what I mean. So, what do we do when the thing that once lit us up has burned us out? How do we heal? How do we move forward? And most importantly, how do we reclaim our creative spirit for ourselves again? Step 1. Healing the wounds left behind. If you've been burned in your creative career, I want to first say this. It is not your fault. You did not deserve what happened to you. And you are not broken, nor is there anything wrong with you. The industries we work in, music, art, theater, film, writing, design, many of them are built on systems that normalize abuse, overwork, toxic behaviors, and emotional manipulation. If you've been gaslit, mistreated, or made to feel small, please know that you are not alone. But knowing that doesn't take away the pain, which is why healing work is essential. This healing can take many different forms depending on what you need. Therapy or trauma-informed coaching is available to process the grief, anger, and betrayal. There's also forgiveness work, not for those who harmed us, but for ourselves, so we can move forward without carrying their burden. And there's emotional release practices, whether that's journaling, movement, or creative expression outside of our career. Because before we can reclaim our creative voice, we have to give ourselves permission to mourn what was lost. Although, as you will know from yesterday's episode, healing tends to be at the heart of therapy, I found the most healing around my music and for my creative spirit actually through life coaching. By finding new ways to create, express, and reinvent, I was able to grieve and rediscover my authentic voice. Step 2. Reinventing your creative expression. Once we've done some of the healing work, we've reached the crossroads of reinvention. Because after we've been burned, our relationship to our craft changes. For some of us, that means returning to our art, but on our own terms. We rewrite the rules. We create healthier boundaries. We find new ways to protect our joy. For others, it means transmuting our creativity into something entirely new. A musician who turns to writing, a dancer who explores movement therapy, a filmmaker who starts a podcast. And sometimes it's both. There's no one right way to come home to your creativity. So consider this. What if your art isn't something you lost, but something waiting to evolve with you? The year COVID canceled my gigs, I dove 2 feet into DIY projects, interior design, and creating a home that truly reflected my vision and heart. That was the first of many creative projects that awakened the knowing that my creative soul wasn't dependent on gigs and my music career growing, but rather was available and abundant in myriad ways. And at the core of all of this, the healing, the reinvention, the reclaiming, is freedom. Step 3, claiming your freedom and moving forward. Freedom from toxic systems that try to define our worth. Freedom to create in ways that feel good to us. Freedom to love our craft again without fear. That doesn't mean we erase what happened. It doesn't mean we pretend it didn't shape us. But it does mean we get to decide what happens next. We get to decide how we engage with our creativity. We get to decide what success looks like on our terms. We get to rebuild a career or a relationship to our art that feels nourishing, not depleting. Because at the end of the day, our creative spirit belongs to us. Not an industry, not a mentor, not a system that takes more than it gives. Us. So I want to take this opportunity to remind you, your creative magic has never left you. You are allowed to grieve and heal. And when you're ready, you get to decide what your artistry looks like from here on out. Take your time, create on your terms, and when you're ready, come back home to your art. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Join me tomorrow as we explore the challenge and importance of building in-person community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please show your support by leaving reviews and comments. It would truly mean the world to me to hear from you. And hit that subscribe button so you never miss a day, and join me in my mission to help a world full of content creators become a world of contentment creators.